artist Sancha. I'm Yesika
Hello.
Salgado. I forgot to introduce myself.
Oh yeah.
I am Yesika
This is
Salgado,
Yesika, everybody.
a poet, and my beautiful Sancha, singer, songwriter, just super cool woman.
Thank
How are you, my
you.
love?
Good. How are you?
I am so good. I'm so happy to be with you
I
here.
know.
We were talking about that. It's been over a year since we've seen each other.
Over a year, yes.
Oh, it's a whirlwind. So how have you been?
Uh, Crazy. um, Anxious, depressed like everyone else, but also like having a lot of work.
Yeah, it's been really weird to have to create in a time where it feels like we should be in
Yeah.
hibernation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it also sometimes feels nice to hibernate and not have to do anything or
absolutely.
leave your home for
Yes.
anything.
Hold on, let me adjust this mat. Like this is the real deal now, right? When you're on camera and then like,
Oh
especially
yeah.
when you wear glasses and you start getting the steamy. I'm like, I'm happy to see you, and I'm steaming up at the sight of you, Sancha.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so on the way here, we drove through LA, and there was so much that I haven't seen in such a long time. I've been staying in Silver Lake where I live,
Yeah.
and it was almost it was surreal, but it was so beautiful to see our people out, like to see so many POC. And I know that they
Yeah.
need to be out because of work and stuff like that, but it reminded me of like the beauty of Los Angeles.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
so where have you been going to find beauty during this time?
There's a park really close to my house. I'm living in Alhambra right now.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And it's been hard to get any physical activity done. And this has been nice. Like going out and seeing all the families and it not being very trendy at all
Yeah.
or anything fashiony. Like I could just look like really normal.
Isn't it like a kind of like having to take off your cool a little bit and
Yeah.
like just get to relax? Like I know that I've met all the pets in my neighborhood, all the dogs. I adopted a pandemic dog.
Oh yes, mango.
So Mango and being with him has made me socialize with my neighbors, and then like now I don't know their names, but I know their dogs' names.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know that I have a pet bird named Mango?
I didn't know that.
Hmm.
I love it. Oh my gosh! And what kind of bird is it?
It's a lovebird.
Of course you would. So what kind of art have you been creating during the pandemic? If you've been creating anything at all?
I've been writing music, mostly music that stands alone, like not in an album, because I usually think very story. And
Yeah.
recently I've been like, no, this could just be a song that feels good. You know, like not much to it. Like, this is a song that makes me feel good right now. I don't have to get that deep with it, but it is. The themes are always kind of eerie, but
Which they're gonna,
I'm
but I
like,
think that's true to you too.
I know. Ma, has that changed at all? I don't think so.
So the last time that you and I were together, we were performing at Grand Park, right?
Oh,
And then that
yes.
was such a beautiful night. And I just remember that leaving that night so in love with LA. Like I wanted to
Yes.
talk about your love for LA because I know that it's not necessarily your hometown, right? Like
Yeah.
but it's become your home.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and so how does your love for LA influence the way that you perform in LA and the way that you create in LA?
Well, the thing that really, really inspired me here was having friends that are brown from working class, and that don't leave their house until they're like 27, 30, you know, like,
Yeah.
so I get to meet people's families and everyone's, the people that I know are queer and are, and in some way an alien with their family, but like so accepted and it's so integrated where I've kind of been like the one that ran away, you know?
Oh, that I didn't even think of that. Like, because, in LA, it's become as expensive as most other cities, right?
Yeah.
So some of us stay at home either because we can't move out on our own or because we're going to help our parents.
Exactly.
And I think that is so beautiful that you name that like if you go over to somebody's home, you're not only going to their home, you're meeting multiple generations of their family all at once,
Exactly.
right? Like the mom and the abuela, and then if they have the siblings there.
Yeah, and their life is sometimes so punk or so like fashion or, things like that. And it's like you get to see them there with their grandma.
It's like you get to meet people, like people's humanity, and I think a lot of times, like in our industries, we don't get to see that.
Exactly.
We only get to see the glam. We get to see
Yeah.
you in your beautiful dress. And who is it that designed your beautiful dress?
Olima.
Yeah, I love Olima. Olima is a dear friend of ours, a Salvadoran. Shout out.
Ooh.
And so, what have you? Has there been like a pocket of people or like a group of people that have surprised you that you've become friends with since you've lived? How long have you been living in LA?
I'm going on 6 years. Or
so it's not
it's
even
been 5. So
yeah, so it's not even like new anymore. But
No.
Have you found yourself in pockets that you were surprised to be in?
Surprised. I don't know if I would be surprised by anything. I guess I was surprised that I was back in the club scene because I definitely was like, I'm a musician. I'm no longer a club girl.
You're like, I'm a serious professional.
Yes, a serious musician. And no, I found myself back in the club scene, but also around a lot of musicians.
Which is beautiful to like be around, like to be around other creatives and get inspiration from them too, and like how we kind of not even inspiration, but just influence each other in different ways, right? Like backstage, we were talking before starting the show about how when I first got introduced to your art and your music, like I had heard snippets and seen you on social media and all that, but I went to a show that you had, this big show in a cathedral, big, huge, beautiful show with all these dramatic outfits and a whole telenovela. And I just remember sitting in the audience and be like, who is this person? I'm so in love with her. And you just seemed to get something right in that moment. Like, I don't even know what it is that I was looking for you to get right, but whatever it was, like I felt so seen by you, and like knowing you and being in conversation with you every time we do anything together, I'm just even more inspired by you, and I just think you've been a gift to LA.
I mean, honestly, when being from the Bay Area, people are like, "Ill LA," so. My best friend moved here first, who's also a Cancer sun.
Oh, yes.
And he's still one of my best friends. But he moved here first, and I would come and visit him, and I literally thought that LA was West Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll never move to LA. And somehow the cards played out that I moved to LA. And a little bit before then, I had found like people that weren't necessarily in that mainstream audience and that were like more underground and punk and in ways like trying to live away from that kind of Hollywood lifestyle. And that's what actually surprised me. And that was before I moved here.
Yeah.
And when I moved here, I was like, oh, I have more than West Hollywood.
Yes. I grew up in Silver Lake, right? So I always tell people I'm a Silver Lake born and raised, but before the gentrification. Like when it was all brown families, either Latinx or Filipinx families. We had a lot of Cuban folks, Puerto Rican folks around. And I grew up like so in love with Silver Lake and Echo Park and all that. And I still live there and I still love them. But I had never been to Boyle Heights. I had never been, like, in most of my life because, when you're a kid, you only go where the bus takes you or wherever you have to go. And I stumbled into Boyle Heights maybe in 2015.
Yes.
And I had already been doing poetry for a long time or whatever, but I remember doing a poem in front of an audience that was mostly like brown kids, right? And my poem connected in a way that it had never connected. It was a bilingual poem.
Wow.
And somebody laughed at a line that I had in the poem that only I ever found funny because nobody ever got it. and I just remember that's the moment where I found like what artist I'm supposed to be and what audience I'm supposed to be looking for. Have you had moments like that in the city?
Definitely. One of my first managers here was Rudy. He did this club called Scum.
Oh, yes.
And I sang it, I think it was the 2nd year anniversary. And he basically put a mariachi trio right in between all these punk bands.
Yes.
And this was at the Echoplex.
Oh yeah,
And he
yeah,
was
down the
like,
street.
yeah, and he was like, and you're gonna sing a couple songs with the mariachi. And
Oh my gosh.
that audience right there was like, wow, this is everything, like people were moshing before and after. And then they were singing along to
Wow.
Paloma Negra, Échame a mí la
I
culpa.
I would be like moshing, crying,
Yes.
sobbing, and then going back to like moshing. That sounds so amazing.
And that was the moment that I was like, wow, this is it.
Wow. Now I'm mad I wasn't there. Because I don't think I've ever seen you sing with mariachi. And that would be such a gift. Like I think you did like some Juan Gabriel covers
Yes,
recently.
yes.
And I was me and my best friend Monica, we were like I was like we were watching her but I'm all crying. I'm like, why is Sacha making me cry in the club right now? And then you actually made people cry in the real club.
We're gonna do a Juanga song today.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
I'm such a fan
Yes.
of you, of Juanga, of everything. So what are you excited about right now? Like what's happening in Sancha's world that's super exciting?
I'm excited about today. And
Yes.
getting to see you.
I know.
And the new ways that people are finding to perform and to be out here for all of you, like it's not just at home sometimes, like we could do things that are safe and in front of cameras.
Yeah, you've been consistently doing things in front of camera in the last year,
Yeah.
which has been like such a gift,
Yeah.
like you did something I think in front of a home,
Oh, it was my home.
in front of your home, and then you did something also like amongst plants.
Yes,
Or
yes.
plants
With
for-
Latinx with
Yeah,
plants.
yes. And I'm such a fangirl. I'm like, look, these are all the things you've done. I have a list of them.
Yes.
Everything you've
Yeah,
done.
we've been doing things with whatever we have. I've upped my studio game. I got myself the new iPhone and
You're up with technology.
exactly. I was like, I need to do this right, even if I'm doing it myself. And also, I like when I don't have to do it myself.
Yes. But I think that's something that about you that really empowers me too. That I see you as a go-getter, and I see you as an innovator. Like you tend to do things. You get you have your vision, and you're like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna compromise. And it's so beautiful to see you do that into fruition. Like as a writer, like everything is concepts for me.
Oh yeah.
So like actually put them out and like seeing things live. I'm like, that's so much magic. I just consider you such a magical being.
You too. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I'm here amongst magic,
Yeah, of course.
and we get to do it in front of the cameras.
I know we get to have camera and we get to have the beautiful people here at Vans, and then we get to wear these fly shoes.
Oh yeah.
Like they didn't even ask us to plug, but I just love my shoes so much. I'm like, I don't have nails on right now, so look at my shoes instead of looking at me. But I see you have your nails.
Oh yeah, I got a little press-ons from CVS.
So what have you what's made you feel like glam, and like what right now? What are your favorite things for you to feel cute and sexy and all of that?
Being at home has changed a lot. I'm like, do I need to buy sweats? And I didn't own sweats before. Buying nice lingerie has made me feel very glamorous.
Ooh. I can't stop tie-dyeing things.
Oh.
Everything I have is tie-dye
Yeah.
now. And I'm like, what am I gonna wear once this is once tie-dye is over?
Tie-dye
And
everything.
and I have now like tie-dyed sweats, pajamas, t-shirts.
Wow. Oh yeah,
Canvas
matching.
bags.
Everything matching would feel so luxurious too.
Yes. And then also face masks have become my favorite thing.
Ooh, yes.
Because we're home, right?
Uh-huh.
And like my skin game has upped because we don't have to put makeup on all the time.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It really has, huh? Like,
Yeah. It's like now I'm not breaking out because I'm like taking makeup over makeup.
The
Yeah.
home glam.
So tonight you're gonna perform. When was I was gonna ask you when was the last time you performed, but I feel like you perform pretty often.
The last thing we did was not video. It was only audio.
Ooh.
And it was a very last minute gig for this company called Oda. But it was nice because we really got to like focus in on the sound. and it was kind of a relief to not have to um, be looked at.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I have found myself a lot enjoying long phone calls with friends
Mm-hmm.
and just chatting. I've been three-waying again. Like, when
Oh
was the last time we
yeah.
three-wayed, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Since the beginning of the quarantine.
or like when we used to three-way when we were younger to catch somebody in a lie,
Yes.
and then you'd be like,
That
so
Mean Girls
what did
thing.
you think about so-and-so? And then she's like, her, I don't like her. And then the other one clicks, and you're like, what? She was on the phone? So I'm not ambushing anybody, but it's been like,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And then also Valentine's Day is coming up.
Oh yeah.
Are you doing anything special?
Not really. No.
Are you doing anything? Are you gonna pamper yourself in any kind of way?
Um, I always like to pamper myself.
You're like, this is something different.
I'll eat a lot of chocolate, maybe a lot more than I'm
Ooh,
used to.
like I had one of my followers. I call my followers my mangoes.
Uh-huh.
And they randomly sent me an edible arrangement.
Oh,
And
that's
then at
beautiful.
first I was just like, I ended up finding out who it was, and I'm very grateful. But for a moment I was just like, I want to have a secret suitor somewhere sending me
Yes.
because they send me chocolate dipped strawberries.
Ooh,
And that's such a sexy gift,
yes.
and I'm like, I want to, so I'm still imagining there's like a suitor out there that's like sending me chocolates and
I'm
strawberries.
gonna send you something anonymous.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send all my friends something.
Oh, that's so, yes.
Not that I'm good with gifts.
You're not a good gift giver?
I'm not. There's people that really think about it, and that I'm like, wow, how did you know that I would like that? Or just with somebody else, seeing other people get gifts, I'm like, wow, that person's really thoughtful.
Yeah.
I don't have that in me.
I'm really good at I love giving gifts, but I don't think I'm thoughtful in that way. I think for me it's more like feeding you or
Ooh.
listening, and if you say you want something, getting it for
Yeah.
you. But I've learned not to do that all the time too, because sometimes it's something people want to get for themselves. So it's like a little tricky,
Yeah.
but I love feeding people. I don't
Uh-huh.
cook though, so I'll just take people to a restaurant
Yeah.
and be like, or Venmo them so that they could Postmate and things like that.
Ooh. I'm
Yeah.
the opposite. I like to cook.
You do?
And so I like to cook for people, yeah.
So you're gonna cook for me soon?
Oh, yes. What do you want? Chiles rellenos?
Oh my
Some
God.
enchiladas?
I love chilaquiles.
Ooh, I'll
Do you
make
make
you some bomb chilaquiles, yes.
So it's on, and then
Uh-huh.
we're wrapping up. So then that's gonna be perfect because I have you on camera now that you promised me chilaquiles.
So then when I'm like, I don't remember.
I'm like, Vans Channel 66 has a record of you promising me chilaquiles.
Exactly.
So you guys know, Sancha promised Yesika Salgado. I'm saying our full names. This is our contract. But
No, definitely. I love making chilaquiles.
of course, I love you so much, and thank you for
Love you,
inviting me
Yesika.
to be a part of this and to just chat with you. Like I even forgot the cameras were here for a second.
I know.
So,
I got lost in the ocean that is Yesika.
so what can we expect? What's gonna happen? What are we moving forward to after this programming?
So we're gonna have a set with Matias. Oh, and Kraslos. Kraslos is DJing, which is one of my long-term friends from one of the first people I met in LA, actually.
Oh wow!
So I was like, there's no better DJ, no better host for this than both of you.
Thank you so much. So then we're gonna throw to Crestlo now.
Yeah, we're gonna throw it to Kraslos.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Vans, for hosting us, and I love you so much, Sancha.
Love you, Jessica. Thank you,
you.
Vance.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
everybody.
Debla.
Thank you.